Hang in there. Fast. Smylie Kaufman for 61. Wow.
I'm Smylie Kaufman, and this is The Smylie Show.
Welcome back to The Smylie Show. We're keeping it rolling with another major championship recap journal at the 18th green at Quail Hollow Club. It's been a heck of a week, Smylie. Moving day was there was a lot of movement.
Oh man, was there ever?
I'm excited to get into it. Can I first ask for permission to say something heartfelt on the show?
Please.
Can I? Okay. Thank you for letting me go there. If you're out there and you're trying to decide whether or not you want to take your kids to a golf tournament, take your kids to the golf tournament. I had a delightful day today. Brought the family out here. They're about 2 hours away in Durham. We picked out a nice little spot on the left side of 14 underneath the trees where you can see 14 green, 16 green, 17 green. Walker and Kate had a great time.
Great.
Just delightful stuff. Big thank you to Kevin Kisner. And big thank you to my wife, Amanda, for driving them up here and dealing with them while I record this journal. But it's...
Clarification, Kisner got a ticket. Just to...
That's
to throw a little clarification there.
Yeah, Kevin Kisner was not babysitting my kids.
Okay.
Yeah, Kevin Kisner, all he did was get a ticket, but that was a big something. I think, look, it's the major that's about growing the game, PGA of America, grassroots. Sure. Love seeing there was a number of kids out there I just think that part of it is cool. Seeing kids fall in love with the game for the first time, and a lot of them liking guys like Bryson, just finding new and interesting things about the game. Mm-hmm. So I'd say take your kids to the golf tournament.
Well, I'm going to go a different route here.
Okay. All right, please.
You're zigging. I'm going to zag.
Please.
So I'm normally inside the ropes, and I watch, I'd say, 30 to 40 minutes of golf today out there. Wanted to be amongst it, if you will. Took Jackson out there. He was kind of showing him, hey, this is what to look for, this and that. And it was really hot, a lot of crowds, and I must say that I may not be built for it.
Built for outside the ropes.
Yes.
Being a
golf fan outside the ropes. I really couldn't stand it.
Can we please just send some thoughts and prayers in the comments for Smylie this week? Because not only has Smylie had to watch golf outside the ropes, he's had to take the dreaded media shuttle over multiple days. Would you care to air any grievances or just what's the worst part about taking the media shuttle?
You just don't know when they're ever going to leave.
I share that. I share that complaint. Yeah.
I love being out there outside the ropes. Don't get me wrong. I love videoing.
Man of the people.
Yes, I love being out there in the action, but at the same time, I hate being so far away from talking to players and caddies. I just want to ask them about the day, whatever it might be, and I'm just kind of standing there on the rope line, just like, what's up, guys?
Well, it's nobody really gets to go inside the ropes at the Masters, but that was the most crowded I've ever seen. Jackson and Brian and I were following around that final group, and that was the worst it's ever been, of standing on the roots of trees, trying to get a glimpse of a putt going in. It's a tough life outside the ropes, but I do think it's a man of the people thing. It's getting the vibes of what's happening on the ground and really kind of, so it's good for you.
That is something that I picked up on. I said this to Jackson, is that I really love the chit chat from all of people, what they kind of loved, what they didn't like. We saw a flop shot right at 9 from Siwoo, got a great angle on it, and went straight up in the air, and people were losing their minds over what Siwoo did with that golf ball. There was a little bit of that. We saw Bryson hit some drives, so fun day out there.
Okay, so here's where we're going to go. I'm going to play a guessing game with you again today. All right, before we do that, we got to get your mind right. We got to get your mind dialed in for these guesses. So you're going to do the Magic Mind mental performance shot for some nice, calm, focused energy. I'm going to Winnie the Pooh it here, stick my hand inside the honey jar and get some mental performance gummies out. And you might have to narrate while I do that because I'm going to be doing a little ASMR chewing that nobody wants to hear. How'd it go down?
Really good. I mean, it's refreshing, too. Love the flavor. Tremendous.
All right, I am Winnie the Pooh now.
I wonder what the max amount of gummies you could eat.
I mean, you're going to have to ask the good people at Magic Mind. MagicMind.com.
There you go.
Okay.
So,
I've cleared my gummies. Can I tee you up now?
Yes, please.
So, first of all, thanks to the good people at Magic Mind. Now, we're going to thank the good people at DraftKings.
Okay.
Specifically, DraftKings Sportsbook. And at the end of this episode, we're going to tell you how you can use our code to get some bonus bets with just a very small bet that can get you a ton of bonus bets on the DraftKings Sportsbook. But we're doing something that we did yesterday, which is I'm going to give you 3 players. You're going to try to guess their current odds to win the tournament outright, or at least the last time I checked, right? We're going to start with Scottie Scheffler. What do you think Scottie Scheffler, with holding a 3-shot lead, 11 under over Alex Noren at 8 under, what do you think his odds are to win outright?
I'm going to go with minus 450.
On the dot. Did you see that somewhere? Did you see that somewhere?
I've literally been sitting right next to you this entire time.
I think you saw that somewhere.
Like, literally just putted 15 minutes
he's getting
ago.
too good at this. the robots are gaining sentience. That's pretty dang good. Minus 450.
Sure.
I mean, that is crazy. It's a crazy thing. I guess it's not that crazy.
I think it could trend to 500 too.
What do you think Bryson DeChambeau is to win this tournament outright? He's at 5 under. He's 6 back of Scottie's 11 under number.
Shoot, man. 2,500.
Yeah. 3,000. 30 to 1.
30 to 1.
Yeah. And then what do you think Jon Rahm's odds are to win this tournament outright? He's at 6 under.
20 to 1.
22 to 1. God, he's good at this game.
Yeah, I mean,
really getting good at this game.
That's a big number. Both of those are big numbers. And it didn't look that way for quite some time throughout the day. It was a day in which it really felt like, 8, 7, 6 under was going to be right where you wanted to be heading into Sunday.
We both sat here yesterday. We said we thought it was going to be 7 or 8. We thought, and this was, maybe we'll get in a little bit to this as well, but the way we thought play was going to flow today, where some of the early tee times we're going to have no win and really be able to make up some score, that whole thing went out the window. When we pushed back tee times, we went threesomes, we went split tees. You had guys that were about to tee off at 8:15, 8:25 that didn't tee it up until 1 o'clock or later. So a huge part of the storyline. And then also, I think, while there was definitely wind out there, it wasn't as strong, or at least I heard this on the broadcast, the gusts were not as strong in the afternoon as they perhaps could have been. So maybe some of that
I was out there, and it was up and down, up and down. Definitely a couple club wind at times, and depending on when you hit, that could have been the difference in your day.
Let's start with Scottie Scheffler. Shoots a 6 under 65 today, at 11 under, first place, solo first for the tournament. At my last check, he was first in both strokes gained approach and off the tee. There was a couple moments that I just wanted to note and just get your reaction to these moments in his round. The tee shot at 14, he hits to 3 feet, makes eagle there. Then on 15, hits a really kind of nervy chip there to 5 feet from kind of the right side of that bunker in the front, leaves himself about 5 feet.
That was a good chip. I wouldn't call it nervy, but it was definitely really good.
Maybe with the bunker there, maybe it was a TV angle sort of
thing.
Yeah. 5-footer makes that for birdie at 15. Makes an 18-footer at 17 for birdie. And then we were sitting right here watching him come up 18, watching the trees behind him. Looks like it's blowing straight down. The flags behind the grandstand at 18, they're blowing left to right, trying to kind of figure out the wind.
How cool was that on just us being there for this? He backs off because of the gusts, and I mean, it just seemed like one that you weren't going to be able to get right, and he got it perfectly right.
Got it perfect. He hits it to 9 feet, makes a putt for birdie, and then everyone on this hill over here, the Scottie.
So good.
I don't know, what else to keep saying about him. Like, every time he hits good shots or makes putts, we used to look at each other and this guy's just so dang good at golf.
Yes, I think the middle of the back nine, when Bryson was definitely making his run, he's pumping up the crowd, walking off the 15th hole. And, of course, we'll get into Bryson's story here in a moment. But Scottie Scheffler, that shot he hit at the 14th hole to 3 feet, makes an eagle. It was definitely an accessible shot today, but we're still talking about a 3-wood, man. Like, it's not
that wind was helping off the left,
which is a hard shot.
Yeah.
You got some slope that'll kick it a little bit right to left, but it's not easy to hit it in that little tiny area in which he did. Of course, makes an eagle there, gets up and down at 15 like you're talking about.
Yeah, really nervy up and down. Really
nervy up and down. All right. So, 16th hole, really, I mean, he was 5 under in his last 5 holes, folks, on 3 of the most difficult holes on the course, being 16, 17, and 18. 14 and 15 were definitely gettable, but still 5 under on his last 5 holes is absurd. There were only 6 birdies on the 17th hole today, Scottie Scheffler being one of them, and then 18 is easily the hardest hole of the golf course, especially with the wind direction today being howling off the left, and he finds the fairway. Even then, he's walking down the fairway, gets to his golf ball. Oh, you're in a little bit of a kind of a replaced divot. So now you have that going on, gusty winds, and somehow hits one of the best shots of the day at 18. Just the control that he has with his iron game. You talked about it, gaining around 3 strokes with his iron game. It's been his strength for, the last couple of years, and now this putter, who's going to beat him, right?
I think it's the green mile we so often think of it, and it is this way. It's a sort of differentiator. It's no matter where you stand going into the final 3 holes of a round at Quail Hollow Club, anything can happen. And we saw it today negatively impact Bryson DeChambeau. Goes 3 over in his final 3 holes and falls from where he was at the outright lead at 8 under to where he finishes at 5. But it can also be a separator in a positive way when you are as good as Scottie Scheffler is, and you're hitting your irons close. But I mean, he had to make in these last 2 holes 26 feet of putt, right? A 9-footer here to 17-footer, I guess an 18-footer, 27 feet of putt between these 2 holes, and that's not automatic. And for a guy that especially for him who's worked to get to this point, it's just hard to see anyone. And I got some more stats for you from the Elias Sports Bureau, Randy Robles. He's held a 54-hole lead, 54-hole lead in a major twice, 2022 and 2024 Masters. He won both times. I really just don't see how anyone.
Oh, it can happen,
with Scottie.
It can happen. Things can happen on a golf round. It's the chasing pack that we'll eventually get into. We're going to talk Bryson, the chasing pack. Though, just some notes on the golf course today on exactly how it played for the entire field. Only 18 rounds under par today. The scoring average was plus 1.5 over par, which just kind of reiterates how good that round was from Scottie Scheffler, a 6 under 65. Of course, Alex Noren with a 5 under 66. Bryson was putting together a day where he had no bogeys on the scorecard, 4 under par round, and just crazy wind that, the golf course got dry, got crusty, slippery, and Bryson kind of fell on the wrong side of some gusts, and that's kind of what he talked about after the round today.
That's right. So let's get into that. So he got it to 8 under, for the tournament, coming out the 15 green, and everyone's fired up over there, ready to see him take on the green mile. Plays the green mile, as we mentioned, in 3 over to fall back to 5 under, a bogey on 16, a double on 17, a par on 18. And here are just some quotes from him from the press conference talking about those shots. 16, just hit the tee shot a little farther right because I knew the wind was howling down off the right, and I could have hit it through the rough and pushed it out to the right. 17, hit a great 9-iron exactly the way I wanted to. The wind just pumped it. Nothing I can do. Wind flipped from being neutral off the right to almost straight in, and we misjudged that. 18, I actually hit a great shot out of the bunker right on my target line, and the wind just turned into me again. It was just a tail of the wind going into me instead of downwind. It cost me 3 shots, and that's what happens here at Quail Hollow. And he was asked, what will you do different tomorrow? Nothing, absolutely nothing. I came out firing. I mean, do you like that mentality of a guy who needs to be chasing? No doubt. Just I had the right club. I just got to go, or would you like to see a guy like that look at some of the miscalculations on those 9-irons and some of those shots and maybe make some adjustments?
Well, he was worried about his tee shot going through the fairway on 16, and I would argue that's okay because the pin is in the back right. That's the side you have to miss on 16. So I would have maybe changed a strategy there off the tee, so that would have been one of the bogeys. Still, it's an inexcusable shot regardless of the wind switch. I feel like it's 17. It's such an exposed area at the 17th hole. It'd be different if we saw it all day where people were dealing with issues there, but there was only I think 1 or 2 other golf balls that ended up in the water. A player of his caliber, it just is surprising to me, and only he would really know if he got screwed over, and it seems like he thinks he did, and who am I to say that he didn't, right? I just think that it's hard, in a major championship, and such a crucial shot. You just can't hit it in the water. Water there at 17, especially with the up tee. And we apologize. They're getting ready for the golf course tomorrow. These leaf blowers. So
I was just about to mention if
you are louder and louder.
If you're not watching on YouTube, if you're listening on the podcast, we're talking about the Green Mile, and you're getting very authentic Green Mile maintenance sound effects in the background. You're listening to the greens crew back here with leaf blowers working on the rough here. It's amazing.
So I would say that maybe there was some argument on whether he picked the right club or not. Still, what's crazy to me is that Bryson DeChambeau was in. I don't think he had a solo lead walking off the green at the 15th hole. I think he was tied. But the fact that he was in the lead and then all of a sudden, an hour later, he is 6 back of the lead is just crazy to think about.
Well, I mean, and I think for me, the bummer is Jackson and I, before you arrived, went around and did some man on the street stuff. You can see a lot of this on our Instagram account. We did some fun stuff out there. One of the questions we asked, but had not put on social, is just who do you like to win this week? And the majority of the people were either believing in or rooting for Bryson DeChambeau. And when you see that energy coming off 15 green, it's the same way we felt after 3 rounds at the Masters of just, it's really nice to have him in the mix because he brings a level of interest and investment from golf fans that most players do not. And so when he was coming down the stretch of the green mound, I'm thinking, man, if he gets a few more under, if Scottie gets a few more under, and we have those 2 guys in the final group, this could be a pretty electric. But now it's, feels like you're giving 6 shots of Scottie Scheffler on a Sunday. Good luck to you, man.
And Bryson, I think his length is what you felt like favored him down the stretch at 16, 17, and 18 coming into the week. And his just execution and maybe bad timing ended up being the reason why he most likely is not going to win this week.
He hits 3-wood in the fairway bunker over here, and
he picked the tee up too. Yeah. He thought that was fine in the fairway.
It's like, I should have gone further left. I mean, it's interesting. It's like the length helps in a lot of spots, but when he's so long like that, you really got to think about where are your landing areas, what are you gambling? Yeah. I mean, it's interesting.
Hey, you need luck to win major championships, and he had absolutely 0 luck on those last 3 holes, and it cost him 3, maybe 4 shots.
I want to go to another live guy, Jon Rahm. Finishes 6 under for the tournament, shoots a 467 today. I think it's fair. We sit here, we hold Jon Rahm accountable a lot in majors. Let's sit here and give him some props when he plays well today.
Yes.
I know he's got one more round to complete, but he absolutely striped it today near the top of the strokes gained leaderboard in both approach and off the tee categories. Here, I want to read you a couple of quotes from Jon today that I think are really interesting. First is just the first question they asked him. He said, "It's hard to express how hungry I may be for a major, about as hungry as anybody can be in this situation," which to me says he's feeling the same thing we're talking about, that major drought. Second was he was asked about the whole going to live thing and whether that impacts whether he thinks about it impacting his play in majors. And the answer he gave was, "Me going to live and playing worse in majors has nothing to do with where I was playing golf. My swing was simply not at the level it had to be for me to compete. It's easier to post a score on non-major championship courses and venues. And I think when you get to the biggest stages like this one and these courses, those flaws are going to get exposed," and it did. Even in 2023, after winning the Masters, I did not play good at all until the Ryder Cup. So I think the problems began earlier than people think.
Here's an argument here. Would you say that for Jon Rahm, thinking that maybe his swing or his game was good enough, he's top 10ing every week at Live, realizing maybe later, it's like, oh, my swing wasn't there and I needed that to be able to win majors. Well, what if you were playing more difficult golf courses week in and week out to where you would be able to go and start making those adjustments and learning on the fly of, hey, this is what I need to improve? That's the counter argument to what he just said.
What you just said is the exact same thing that struck me, is that you're almost confirming the same thing you're denying in the statement you're making by saying, oh, well, you're going to these easier golf courses. Now, I'm not saying every PGA Tour golf course presents a major level test, but I think on the whole, if you were grading PGA Tour course difficulty against what you're playing on Live, it's going to be a lot more difficult on tour. Going to places like
Bay Hill,
Muirfield Village, like any of these events you're going to tee it up in, that should help you sharpen, or expose the things in your swing that aren't good, and then you can go work on those. Whereas you can kind of paper over those when you're top 10ing every week on Live.
His swing definitely looks better. He looks more comfortable. He looks more confident, and I would probably disagree a little bit that it was just his golf swing. To me, still watching his body language in the majors that he struggled in the past has been noticeable to my eye from just watching him play a bunch of golf, but no doubt swinging it very well this week. And he, to me, is the one guy that I have my eye on. Maybe Alex Noren's a very, very good player, and he's closest to Scottie, but still Jon Rahm has got to be the guy 5 back, and he's going to need help from Scottie. I think everybody will.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, that's a guy I think that could give Scottie a run, and I think that, to Jon's point, he's feeling very motivated by this, and so I think good round for him today. And it's, we're not here to critique. Like, I want to see Jon Rahm playing good golf.
Absolutely.
It's a much better ecosystem when he's playing well. You noted Alex Noren there as well. What a huge day, and really series of months for him when you consider that he's at 8 under right now. He shot a 566 today. The Truist Championship last weekend was his first start since October 2024 when he played in the Dunhill. He had a combination of neck, hamstring, and glute injuries. I think it was maybe a torn hamstring.
It sounds like every member or any person finishing up their club tournament. That's exactly what the injury report looks like. So he's just like every other common man, Alex Noren. Glad to see him back healthy again and playing well out here at the PGA Championship.
I think he's 42, and it's like you could have just put in parentheses getting old instead. All those things, like all those things hurt me as well. Great day for him putting and around the green,
which is not shocking. Guys go flock and watch this guy practice around the greens. I was with Xander Schauffele last year at the Memorial, and Xander was just following him around the greens, asking him, "Hey, how do you hit this shot?" Because the way he can just get the club face underneath golf balls around the green, and really incredible bunker player, and you saw that today, holing out one. I believe it was at the 15th hole for birdie, and then had another good one earlier in the day.
So he's in and around it, although I will say, and this is again a live Sports Bureau stat, Randy Robles, the only time that Alex Noren has entered the final round of a major championship among the top 5 on the leaderboard was at the 2008 Open Championship at Royal Birkdale. 2008 Open Championship at Royal Birkdale. T5 after 54 finished T19.
While we got you in 2008, what was Charlie Hulme doing?
Charlie Hulme was, let's see, Open Championship. He was between his freshman and sophomore years at University of North Carolina. Yeah, he was.
He's got a buzz.
He was sitting in the fratter, buddy. Yeah, man, dude, you just put me on a nostalgia train right now. I'm gone. You're gonna have to figure out. You need Jackson to do the rest of the show. I'm in the fratter right now.
This guy's playing Burial Kart in the frat house. Seriously, that
sounds about right.
Some form of that, or playing like 2-on-2 FIFA.
We played a lot of FIFA that summer. If I remember, that was the most broken controllers I think I've ever seen.
Just
over the course of
because
less people in the house and less rules and just anyway, that's neither here nor there. Congrats to Alex Noren, good work. There are a couple guys at 7 under I just want to hit you with real quick here. There was a group of about 5 for a while, and then all of them sort of faltered near the finish, but the 2 that ended up at 7 under, Davis Riley at 35-1, JT Poston makes a long one at 18 to finish at 7 under, 30-1. Like either of those guys, I mean, obviously Davis from the South, a guy whose game when it's on is just as good as anyone else out here, and JT's a North Carolina guy.
Okay, spin zone here. You ready for this one?
Hit me.
Scottie Scheffler looks at this leaderboard and says, "Oh no, Davis Riley's there again."
Oh yes, was that Colonial last year?
This time last year. That was
a week ago, a week forward last year. How about that?
Davis Riley has Scottie Scheffler's number.
Wow. I like that. Let's really start piecing this together, because Scottie, in one of his press conferences this week, said they just put in these new greens at Quail a couple years ago. They're getting softer, but they're still a little firmer. What did Colonial do last year? They put in those new greens. Hey, listen, if you like it, DraftKings Sportsbook, JT Poston, 30-1.
Okay, he can hoop. So how does JT Poston get the job done? He needs a ball striking day from the heavens, and then just beat JT Poston on the greens.
I love it. Okay, so here is the last stat that I'm going to read you, and then we're going to close this up with how all our friends out there can go to DraftKings Sportsbook and sprinkle a little bit on some favorites as we head into Sunday at Quail Hollow Club. So, again, from Elias, 34 of the last 35 winners of the PGA Championship were among the top 5 on the 54-hole leaderboard. Justin Thomas was tied for 7th in the final round in 2022. So really, it's got to be from that group that's there near the top. And Scottie Scheffler's getting spotted 3 shots.
I mean, Rahm is at what place is Rahm in here?
He's at 6 under, which I believe puts him in the. Let me think about this.
Ram's 5th. Bryson's at 8th. So I think it just feels like Bryson or Jon Rahm. They need Scottie Scheffler to come back to 8 under somehow. Or 9 under. Seems like it's got to get to single digits for anybody to be in a playoff, it seems like. Scottie's got to go out and shoot over par tomorrow.
Well, if you are believing that the miracle could happen for someone further down the board.
Am I guessing some odds here or no?
No, you're not guessing odds.
Right,
I'm doing a read right now because I'm saying you should go download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code Smylie Show. That's code SMYLIESHOW to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 8778-HOPENY or text HOPENY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, shout out Boot Hill. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. New customers only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
Okay, that's our Emmy performance read.
That's
Nailed
the
it.
one, right? I think
we
I
finally got
that
through
time.
It. Whew, took us all week. Thanks for hanging with us. And
yeah,
that was well done.
Well, yeah. Let's just. This is our last day here. If you're watching right now, you tune in, subscribe to the YouTube, follow us on X, follow us everywhere. But those two places, we're gonna do something a little unique tomorrow. That's the plan. Is to hop on the stream, go live when the leaders are headed into the Green Mile. Watch along with you. We obviously can't show you the tournament, but if you have it on a TV and you have a laptop or a second screen, watch along with us, hang out, and then stick with us as we recap the entire tournament and the hour following a new champion being crowned here.
And the only asterisk I will give you on all this, if Scottie has a 6-shot lead, just come join us in the stream after because there's nothing to talk about.
It'll be 3 holes of discussing
If we feel like there's a
legacy.
golf tournament, we're going to come to you live.
Yes, yeah. We'll just go ahead and hop in there and recap that thing. But huge thanks to PGA of America, the partnerships team, for setting us up here all week long. It's been a blast at Quail Hollow Club. Got some good action at Selwyn Pub. I mean, what else? What else do we want to?
Well, I'm just going to
with?
leave you with just an overall thought about the golf course and what potentially has to happen tomorrow for anybody other than Scottie Scheffler to win. And there's only 5 holes on this golf course that are playing under par. If you're in the media center at all this week, it's pretty cool. They got the big board up there.
Yeah.
They got the circles, the squares. But all of the circles are only happening on 5 holes. And it's the 7th hole, the par 5, the drivable par 4, 8th hole, kind of drivable, the 10th hole, the par 5, the 14th hole, the drivable par 4, and then the 15th hole, the par 5. You're going to have to go 4 or 5 under on those holes, no less if you're a chaser. And if you're Scottie Scheffler, if you just play those holes under par, it feels like that's all he needs to probably do to win the golf tournament and just babysit the rest of the round. That's the key for me tomorrow, keeping the doubles off the card for Scottie, and then see if any of those guys that are chasing could pick one off on any of those other holes, but really playing those 5 key holes aggressively and making it happen tomorrow.
There you go. There's Smiley's formula. See if anyone can work it out to their advantage tomorrow. Thanks so much for hanging, watching, and listening with us all week long, and we'll see you live streaming Sunday afternoon as we crown a new PGA champion. Talk to you then.
You know, I listen to this podcast. It's really cool. And
all of our lovely fans and subscribers, but make sure you like and subscribe.
It's cool to see what you guys are doing. I know golf fans appreciate it, but we do too, so please keep it up.
For all the good people of YouTube, like and subscribe.
You guys have some good takes, so I'm happy to come on and shoot the